Hey guys, today we are going to talk about the histogram and how to use it or how to visualize data, um, specifically the histogram in Python matplot library, which is a very powerful library. And for you guys who don't know what a histogram is, I'm gonna give you a quick overview about um, what a histogram is, and I'm sure that pretty much most of you have heard at least about it in high school or in college or I don't know somewhere because it's so common, and you must have heard of it somewhere in your life. Anyways, histogram is just a way of distributing data. So suppose that you have um, some data, I don't know, numbers or data or um, heights, ages, money, anything, and you want to know the distribution of these data. So what you would use is a histogram, which is going to give you a better insight to analyze data. So here, this website I found online, it says that a histogram is a plot that lets you discover and show the underlying frequency distribution shape of a set of continuous data. And the most important word here is the frequency distribution. And yes, the histogram shows the frequency distribution of data. So here it gives you an example of some ages in a specific place, um, maybe in a city or in a university or in a company. It doesn't matter. What matters is that it's a sample of data, and they want to know which age group is dominating here. And as you can see here, it shows that people between 50 and 60 are dominating here in the group, meaning that people who age from the range of 50 to 60 are the are most than any other age group. The number of them is dominating. So for example, people from 80 to 90, there is no people who age 80 and who age between 80 and 90, and the age group of 90 to 100 is very small, maybe 2 or 3 people. But here it shows one. It's only one person who is between the age of 90 to 100 is in this sample. And one more thing that I need to discuss quickly, which is very important, is called the pen. The pen is the period between that determines the age group or the group, the range between one group and the next one. So here it says in the example, age has been split into pens, and it also says that there is no right or wrong way of dividing the data. So for example, you can, instead of dividing the data giving the pen here a period of 10, you could just say that I want the pen to be only 5. So meaning that from 20 to 25, and then from 25 till 30, and then from 30 to 35. So here it says age has been split into bins, with each bin representing a 10-year period starting at 20 years. So you could change that from instead of 10 to 5 to 2 to 3 and it says also each pen contains the number of occurrence, blah blah blah, and then the frequency and blah blah blah, and also it says it gives here the the number of people who age between, for example, 20 to 30 inside here, exactly specifying exactly the people who age from 25 to 30 and their ages, instead of displaying them in the histogram graph. Here it gives you the data numerically. So let's now go ahead and create our histogram, and instead of using the ages, I'm going to use heights of people so that you understand better. So let's suppose that we have a height array that represents maybe people in or students in a university and their heights. So for example, we went to a university and we got heights of people in some class, or we got randomly some sample from a specific university, and the heights are 160 and then 170, 165, 180, and of course regardless of the gender. So this is this could be a little bit skewed because we didn't take gender into account, and that could give us inaccurate data, because inaccurate result, because maybe men are maybe men are more in men more than more than women in this data, in this sample. And if that is true, the data would be skewed, and if the reverse, if women are more in this sample, the data also will be skewed. And I'm going to create a course on how to get a good sample so that you don't get a skewed data. 173, 178, 177, 189, 193, and maybe 164, 163, 167. So 167 or 168. So now we have this array, and what we need to do now is to create our bin, and our bin is going to be also of a range of 10, because I want to start from 150. I don't think that there is anyone who is less than 150 centimeters. That would be very, very rare in our community, or any community, or in the world in general. Most people are between 150 to 200. People outside that range are too little. So let's give our pen. So our bins, or our bin, is going to be also an array. So it's going to be an array, and starts from I think 160 or 10. Let's see the example. So the example, it starts from 0 to 20 and then 30. So we start from 140, right? I think we start from 140 or 150. So 150 or 150, and then 160. We add 10 each time. 170, 180, 190, and 200, right? And this is the bins. Now the last thing is how to use, or what is the function that we use in order to draw the histogram. Well, the function is called hist, H-I-S-T. So let's call this function blt.hist, and then what we pass inside this function is that we pass three parameters, or two parameters, and the rest are optional. So the first parameter that we pass obviously is the height, or heights. Let's call this heights. And the second parameter is the bins. And then the third parameter is optional. It's called the histogram type. So it could be bars, it could be here it's bars, and down there it's only lines. So it's fine, you can use any one, it doesn't matter. What matters is you get the idea. Histogram hist, and then you type hist and then type, and in single brackets what you type is the name of that shape. I'm gonna type bar because I want bars, and also you can specify the width, but I'm not gonna go into that. Let's just use this. And also we can add the X label and Y label. X label, which could be the X represents the heights, and the Y Y label represents the number of people, or distribution, of course. Heights, right? Number of people, or students in our case, because we went to a university. And let's save and run and see if we got any errors. We did not get any errors, but we have here a problem because of the width. Let's add the width. I'm gonna add here the width so that we can differentiate between the periods. So here I'm gonna add the width, which should be r and then width, which is going to be equal to, I don't know, maybe 0.5. Let's save and run again. And as you can see now, we have this histogram, and the period is not well. I don't think it's well. Let's make this 0.1, only 0.1, and run again. Yeah, the width is not the width between the bars. So let's increase that, not decrease it. So 0.9, and save and run again. And yeah, this is much better. So people between 150 to 160 are only 3 students. Only 3 students have heights between 150 to 160. And is that true? Let's verify that. If we go into this array, this is number 1, and then number 1, and then number 2, this is number 2, and then number 3, and then number 4, and yeah, 4 people. This one should be 4 people, not 5 people, from 100 to 160, but it didn't take into account the 160 because it starts from 150 and it ends at 159, not 160. So remember that the bin starts from 150 and it ends at 159, and the next range is 160 to 169, and so on and so forth. So people between 160 to 170 are 5 students. And is that true? Let's count. 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. 5 people. Is that true? Yeah. 5 people between 160 to 169. And between 170, sorry, I miscounted the previous one. Between 160 to 169 should be 5. So let's start counting again. 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and that is absolutely true. Between 170 to 179, let's start from here. 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, 5. Yeah, 5. That is true. Again, from 180 to 189, here it says 7. Let's start here from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that is absolutely true. So it's true that it's 7 people who have heights from 180 to 189. And as you can see, the label here, it says the number of students, and here heights, because we added here the label, the X label and Y label, and this is a perfect histogram. And as you can see how powerful this library, matplot library, very powerful in a way of showing you how you can use it to visualize data, and here you can make good decisions if you are working on a very big project. So that's it in this tutorial. And if you guys want to be a professional in a specific field in Python, I have got a lot of courses in the description below, so you can download and join my courses. And also don't forget to download my free ebook, which is going to show you how to be a professional freelancer in the programming field. And also don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And if you want more of this useful content in my channel, hit me up and leave a comment below. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.